holding you back from touching the sky? What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. What's holding you back from touching the sky? Oh, holding you back, you finally gotta reach for the sky. I was born to succeed, not to be a spoken the real. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train. I'm headed for the horizon where success is no doubt. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky. What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky. Oh, holding you back, you finally gotta reach for the sky.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of What's Holding You Back. My name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network, and I am so excited to be with you this afternoon, this evening, this morning, depending on where in the world you are watching us from. But we're going to have a fantastic time this afternoon and have a wonderful discussion. A very important discussion, as we're going to be talking about, is your past relationship causing post-traumatic stress in your current life and situation. So yes, this is going to be a very interesting conversation, and we are very much looking forward to it this afternoon. And to have that conversation, we have two very special guests that are going to be coming on with us in just a few moments. But before we bring them on, we just want to do a brief recap from last week. And last week we had a very interesting conversation as well. And that was pertaining to your health. And what are some of the warning signs that your body is telling you and trying to signal you that you need to take corrective measures? So if you missed that broadcast last week, I want to encourage you to go back into our YouTube channel and watch that information for yourself, as we're going to be doing a follow-up probably next week on that very same topic, as we have so much more information that we want to cover in talking about that. But today is a new day, a new topic, and we're going to get into our conversation for today. So please, as you are jumping on board, please leave us a comment in the chat. We would love to greet you and welcome you to the conversation. As I see that we have a couple of people that have already joined in. I see Tia T, 8869, blessings, greetings. Thank you so much for joining us. And also I see my very own Pastor Fred Pinnock. God bless you, man of God. Good to see you and always having you as a part of the program. So thank you all so much. And if you don't mind, please let us know where you are tuning in from. We would love to know where our audience is coming from and greet you and give you a shout out as well. So with that being said, let us get into the conversation for today. And we're going to do that by bringing on our very special guests. And we have two guests, as mentioned previously. And the first one you can see on the top right of your screen. She's going to be our subject matter expert for today. And she is no other than Kenita D hailing from Columbia, South Carolina. And right below her in the middle of the screen, yes, that man, that right there, the man himself, he is no other than my brother. Oh man, my brother from another mother, my brother Eric Greene, and he also hails from Columbia, South Carolina. So greetings to you both. Please unmute your mics, and we are so happy to have you with us this afternoon.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Brother E, how you doing?
Hey, doing great today. Blessed holidays, brother.
My man. Glad to have
Yes,
you.
sir.
Glad to have you. All right, so I'm just going to read the bio of our sis. Sister Kate, we're going to call her, and she is our subject matter expert for today in this conversation that we're going to be having in dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and dealing with relationships. And she is a Brooklyn, New York native. And as stated previously, she now resides in Columbia, South Carolina. And she holds a bachelor's degree in sociology from Claflin University and a master's in higher education with excuse me, concentration in college administration and leadership from Purdue University. Okay, excellent. Her
Congrats.
certifications include trauma informed care, youth and adult mental health and first aid, and also chaplaincy. Kenita is an active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. Wow, love that. Incorporated. And she is a career development associate, South Carolina State Employees Association, and a National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And she is the mother of her beautiful daughter, Ashanti. So, yes, please put your emojis together and let us give a very warm welcome to both of our guests for this afternoon. And we are very much looking forward to the conversation for today. So, as we're going to start off this conversation, let us first just start off by giving all of our listeners and viewers some basic understanding of what that term or the phrase of PTSD really stands for and what it means. Right. So PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. And mainly when we hear that particular term, we often relate that to people that were in the military, and when they come back home and dealing with those experiences, they normally have a lot of flashbacks, and it creates a lot of post stress in their lives after coming back from those major conflicts. So that's where initially the term came from. But now, as we evolve and we get a better understanding of how these triggers work, we come to the realization that it manifests in many other forms and ways as well. And one of those ways in which we're going to be talking about today is through our own personal relationships. So just to give you a little context as to what this particular term is all about, and a general idea of where this conversation is going to be heading for today. All right. So with that being said, and we have that out the way, so let's start with you. All right. So for people that may not fully understand what PTSD in relationships is, how may this show up inside of a relationship on a daily basis?
When you think about, like you said, like you stated, that was just a term that we associated with veterans,
Hmm.
um, but it shows up in several facets in many relationships.
Hmm.
I'm also a birth doula, so it can show up. That trauma can show up when I'm working with a mom in the midst of her getting ready to deliver. Um, those things put you in a situation where you're either fight or flight.
Hmm.
You're carrying a lot of things from other people. You know, you know that song Erica Badu, Bag Lady. You know,
Yeah.
carrying all that stuff like that. You
That's
know,
right.
so
Yeah.
a lot of times it's trauma brought on from other people and other situations that we let linger and we let fester. So when you
Mhm.
step into a relationship and you bring those traumas into relationship, you're ultimately convicting that current person for crimes that someone else committed.
Ooh, come on now.
Wow.
So
I
you're
love it.
sentencing them for something that they didn't even do. They're going into the relationship innocent, but you
Mm-hmm.
already have your guard up. It shows up as insecurities. It
Mm-hmm.
shows up as overthinking. You know, you're always in a mindset that someone is out to get you. You don't know how to decipher, is this real? Is
Right.
this person real? And even, are these emotions real? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So it's like, how do I navigate, especially when it's a new relationship, it's a fresh relationship. So let's talk about the romantic side of it. If it's
Oh,
new and a fresh relationship, your guards are automatically up. I
okay.
always say that walls have two purposes: to keep you in and to keep people out.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already navigating something that is so traumatic. You want it, you desire it, you almost crave it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how to let the guards down and actually sit at the table and enjoy the feast, because there's so many other options on the table. So the relationship part of it is something that you really, really, really have to learn to navigate. I don't think, in my opinion, that it ever goes away, because it never started. Um, you're not born with it. It's something that is created. It's something that you live with. It's something that you walk with and you talk with. And as me, my personal experience as a person that has dealt with that, you become an expert of masking everything.
Yes,
I
yes.
always say every smile isn't happy.
That's true.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So we're gonna get over to my brother Eric down here, Eric Greene at the bottom of
Yes.
the screen here. So Eric, you are the one that first initiated this particular conversation when you made a post, and
Yes, sir.
you were asking, is PTSD in relationships a thing? And then you tagged me in it, and you was like, have you ever spoken about this? I was like, nah, I never knew it was a thing. But when I thought about it, it made sense. I'm like, wow. And then your sis Kay was on the post as well, and she chimed in. She gave a very thorough explanation as to what it is and what people may be experiencing. And I was like, wow. And then you also said, E, you said, you need to talk about this on your program one day. And
I
sure
did
enough,
suggest it.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
here we are today. So, brother, if you can enlighten us as to, have you had that experience and what it was like for you?
Well, actually, I have had that experience, and I also, at the time that I mentioned it,
Hmm.
I was experiencing that then with a partner that I was dealing with at the time. Actually, we're still dealing with each other. We're still growing, and I was noticing a lot of things that I was being accused of, and a lot of different mood swings and all of that.
Hmm.
And so finally one day I got myself to open a conversation about, why do you have mood swings? And she actually informed me about, she was apologetic, saying that it wasn't me, it wasn't me. I was like, well, why do I have to deal with it? In other words. And she was like, it's because of my PTSD from past relationship. And I didn't know, I've never heard of it like that. I always put, just like you and Kenita were saying, we always associated PTSD with military experiences,
Yeah.
soldiers that fought the war, veterans of that nature.
Hmm.
And when she said it, man, it took me by storm. So I went and investigated it, and I found out that there's more people speaking up about that type of thing, and that's why I asked the question on the social media.
Hmm.
And it was all new to me, and it still is now. I'm still navigating and still experiencing and still learning.
Hmm.
But to my surprise, it's a lot like any other PTSD. And it doesn't have to be military,
Right.
And from my learning, it comes from pain.
Yes.
Anything that causes you pain and it affects your emotional and mental capacity or your memory, that's what I associate it to be. And that's my understanding of trauma, past trauma, post trauma, I'm sorry.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there it is in a nutshell. I mean,
That's right.
when we really think about it and we reflect back in our lives and going through different relationships,
Yes.
whether that be through family members or friends or intimate relationships, we
Yes.
have all, I would think, experienced some type of trauma in different situations. And
Yes.
like they said, we bring that baggage into new relationships because it hasn't been properly addressed. And we haven't figured out a way to really deal with those issues in which we had in the past and where we bring them into current and previous and ongoing relationships.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
something that we all need to, I don't know, seek some
It's a
type.
spirit. It's also, it can also be recognized as a spirit. Um,
Oh, really?
so
Okay.
I hate that old nursery rhyme. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. That's the lie ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Mm-hmm.
because abuse is not only physical, it's verbal, it's
Yes.
emotional, it's
Yes.
financial. You
mhm,
know, when you think about abuse, some people just really think physical. No, you can say things that will linger in a person's soul
Yes.
forever. I mean, like
Yes.
how many times can you hear you're stupid, you're dumb? Those things fester and those things grow. But as we get older, we mask it and we kind of downplay it and we stay busy with life
mhm,
until something triggers it and you realize, oh wow, I remember that feeling, and I remember that I never wanted to feel that way again. So when you think of PTSD, I mean, PTSD is so broad.
it is.
Mm.
um, but I know right now we're just talking about how it shows up in
Yes.
relationships. But
Mhm,
a lot of times, and even on the spiritual side, the older people say, "Oh, pray about it and go to church." Yes, that does help.
right.
However, God gives people wisdom and knowledge and the education to help you do those things.
Mhm,
That's
Yes.
why we have doctors. That's why we have therapists. Um, you can go to God in prayer. I'm a believer, but sometimes we need something else. We need some help. We need some
Yeah.
out.
We do.
Um,
Mm.
so PTSD and relationships, and it's not only romantic relationships, it's relationships at work,
yeah,
Yeah.
friendships,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
parenting. You
Mhm,
know,
Mhm.
we suffered some trauma. I always said I would never beat my daughter, and I stuck to
Mhm.
that because back in the day, I promise you, had I called DSS or BCW, it probably would have been on, but it made me a better person. You know what I'm saying? And but again, those type of things can be traumatic. It was traumatic for me, and I said I would never beat my child, and I never did.
mhm.
So just those things we carry, we carry it like luggage.
Wow, excellent, excellent. Blessings, Shawnette. Good to see you, my sis. Yeah, she says this is her arena. All right, yes, sis. All right. So, yes, we would love to hear your input on this matter. We're going to be discussing more. Yeah, it is so much deeper than just
It is,
what we're seeing on the surface. Oh,
yeah,
wow. And she said is also is a spirit.
it's spirit, yeah.
Yes.
That's deep.
I agree. I agree. Yes, I agree.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Sister Yvette, blessing, sis. Yes, we all need some extra help.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we can't run from it.
Can.
Oh, that's my doula sister. Yeah, that's why. I mean, you even in the labor room, it
Mhm.
is traumatic. It
Yes.
is traumatic. To even have a demise. Because as doulas, like my sister T and I, we actually see that baby first before mom sees baby. So it's so we see the purple baby, the baby that's having trouble breathing, the baby that's struggling, and we've even witnessed demises. So that in itself is very traumatic, to go into the hospital pregnant and to go home and look at the back of your car and the car seat is empty.
Mm.
That is traumatic. That is trauma on
Yes.
a whole nother level. So yeah, right, Shawnette, very, very sensitive topic. You're correct. So it's just we have to seek help. We have to be in a space with people and surround ourselves with people that are caring and that are genuinely caring, and can speak to that trauma in us and help us through it and not be judgmental.
Yes. Yes.
That's the most important thing.
I would like to add. I would like to take it back on what Kenita was just saying.
Mhm.
We actually need a lot of support, love, and also professional guidance and help. Just me personally, to get to the point that I am now to even talk about this, this is not possible until I admit to myself that I wanted to talk to a professional, that I actually needed to talk to a professional. I died of a gunshot wound. It was life threatening
Yeah.
in 1994.
Mhm.
And it changed my life dramatically. I mean, to look in the mirror and see the wounds, the scars, the missing smile. I was so small, I had lost so much weight during that time. And I was just thinking it was all memories. And at one point in time, I fed off those memories. And it kept me mean. I say, nobody will never do this again.
Mhm.
Not knowing, no one else wanted to do that. No one had a problem with me. A lot of people didn't even know me to have a problem with me. But that's where the TTSD, where the traumatic experience, placed me mentally.
Right.
And I was, so to speak, staying ready, for something that was never coming because God had me.
Mhm.
When I realized and I reconnected, realized He saved me for a reason, right? My life took a big spin. I didn't even know what was going on myself. I felt like I didn't know myself because that was the change that He had taken over my life and was placing on me. And after 20 plus years, I want to say in 2010, until 2010, that I had to accept and actually admit to myself that I needed help, that I needed to know more about what I'm going through, that this wasn't something I could handle. All these years I was in denial. That a lot of people that was around me in my personal circle, they were noticing differences in me, changes, but it wasn't voices to me. I guess the way I was presenting myself, they was afraid. They didn't have that. I didn't give them that option. I didn't open the door to say, hey, let's talk like this. But after I sat down on that couch and I talked to professionals, I learned how to communicate more,
Mhm.
Hmm.
how to open the doors or the gates to let who I'm communicating with feel comfortable enough to talk to me about certain things.
Okay.
If y'all understand that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I didn't know that was necessary. I thought if people's talking, they just speak their mind, whatever they want to say, they have a problem saying it. But a lot of people, to give you professional advice and their honest opinion or their honest comment on something, they have to feel comfortable. Most of them,
Yeah.
Right.
and
That's
and I clear a big part of that, And I learned that, and as I started to implementing that and putting it into my everyday social skills and all, I saw a big change.
Mm.
I started gaining more information. I started feeling more empowered. I started feeling like Eric again. You
That's
know
a
what I
big
mean?
word, empowered. I love that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And yes, and I was able to actually explain and express my feelings, express myself more clear
Mm-hmm.
to the people that it mattered to, the people that could actually help me. Because I didn't know how to express it. I didn't know how to navigate, how to even begin saying how I felt, expressing my feelings. If you understand what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
I just I was in avoidance. I was avoiding it. Never wanted to talk about it. Never felt comfortable enough to talk about it.
Mhm.
Then I tried to self-medicate with alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah, different drugs made me feel more comfortable about talking about it, speaking on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through a lot, just trying to uh, self-medicate and trying to handle all this myself, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it was much bigger than what I thought it was back then.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be able to relate it to relationships and realize that I also had that type of experience in that as well, it was kind of mind blowing. Man, I'm like, wow, you know, how did I survive all this? How did And there's no way I could have survived it without God. And to put me here with you all, and to hear you just relate to your pastor in such a manner that you did, knowing that you know God so good, man, it's amazing, and it's humbling, and it's also a beautiful thing, man. And I'm back to that word. It's also empowering.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives me power like you wouldn't believe
Mm-hmm.
that
That's
I never realized I had or possessed. And back in the day, a lot of people from the outside, and I did, I thought I had power then because I was lifting all the weights and all, and I was this big guy, stronger than my size ever represented. I'm sitting here, guys, 300, 400 pounds. I'm putting them on the behinds. I'm out lifting them, all of this stuff.
Right.
And I thought that was all the power I needed.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when I lost all of that, when
Mm.
I lost my charisma, when I lost my pronunciation skills because I was a smooth operator, and if I couldn't manhandle it, physically power my way through it, I could
Yeah.
finesse it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
right.
The way my words rolled out, it
Come on.
helped me out a lot. But
Yeah.
when God removed all that, and He made my self core, my inner core stepped out, I had to learn that. That was the guy I didn't really know. I moved away from that guy.
Okay.
You know what I
Wow.
mean?
That's deep, brother.
That
Yes, sir.
is. It
Yes,
is.
Mm.
sir.
It really is.
And
And black
I
community.
said, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. In the black community, I know I was taught what happens in the house stay in the house.
Yes, yes.
Um, so even a therapist was taboo. Like,
You
no,
don't
we
talk
talk
them. Yes,
love. We don't tell nobody what's going on in the house.
Mhm.
yes,
So a
yes.
lot of things were not talked about, a lot of things were not discussed, and you had no choice but to carry that.
Yes.
And working in education, I became really sensitive to children
Mm.
because every child that acts out is not bad. It's not ADHD.
It's a reason.
They don't need Adderall. They don't need Ritalin. You don't know what
Yeah.
type of night that child had. You don't know what type of morning that child had. It's deeper. But until we push that stigma, get out of that stigma of asking for help,
Mhm.
we have to find ways to navigate and advocate for ourselves. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to advocate for yourself when you don't know what you don't
Yeah.
know. My uncle says that all the time. You don't know what you don't know.
Come on.
So being able to advocate for yourself becomes hard. And you
Yes.
do things like my brother talked about. You self-medicate, you do alcohol or you drugs, or you may become promiscuous. You may just shut down totally. There have been
Hmm.
times I just shut down and I can sleep all day long. But it's just my mind saying, okay, we need to relax, Kenita, because
Yeah.
you are a overthinker and you just
Then and done that. Yes.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't be a help to anybody else if you're not well.
That's right.
So for me, it's sleeping. You know,
Okay.
it's music, it's
Yeah.
journaling. You
Mhm.
know, when I write, I can always sit back and look at, you know what, today is not that bad because last week
Yes.
it was rough.
It was
But
love. Yeah.
you know, I was able to get from that to this. So yeah, so let's just use these coping skills and these mechanisms and these techniques, and whether it's grounding, whether it's meditation, whether it's the 5 4 3 2 1 technique, um,
I
all
use
of
that as well. Excuse me.
that,
Yeah, I use that as well. Yes.
you
Very effective.
have to,
Excuse me, interrupt.
but you have to get to that. You know what I'm saying? People, we need help, and we need to be open and talk about it. But like I said, I know it's taboo. And Eric, I just have to say, you know, thank you for sharing your story because we were young. You know, we were straight out of
Yes.
high school, and
Yes.
you know, you were in the Navy, and you know, so you
Yes,
thought you
ma'am.
had
So,
this whole life ahead, and then life, you know, it happened. But you're on the
yeah.
other side of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's big for men, and especially for black men to go to
That's right.
count.
Yeah,
That's real big. So
it
you
is.
know, I just encourage you. I encourage you, and
Thank you.
you know I'm here. But you
Yes.
know,
I
I
know.
I really I'm proud of you. I'm just
Thank
say
you.
I'm
Thank
proud.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me as
Thank
well.
you.
Me as
Thank
well.
y'all so very much. It means a lot. Uh, I mean, it took a long time, and each one of you
Mhm.
played a role in that because every time I would encounter y'all, it's like these months, like the years in between, y'all always showed love. You always showed concern.
Mhm.
Always looked in the eyes. You never looked away.
Right?
Like I was horrible to look at, you know. And y'all know I went through steps. It wasn't always just smooth or whatever.
Right.
And just to see that we were connected spiritually way back then, because that was a spiritual eye.
Okay.
That vision that y'all had, that was a spiritual vision.
Mm.
And I want to thank both of y'all so much for that, so very much. Because a lot of times when I guess when I met my faith, and it was basically questioning, should I keep going? Am I tired now? Do I want to give up?
Mm.
And those silent words, man, I thought about all of you guys. And I said, I can't give up. And I kept fighting just as much harder, even when I felt like it was at the end of the road. I felt like I was at the crossroads.
Yeah.
But I said another prayer and I kept going.
Mm.
And I saw improvement after that. I saw strength. I saw more of you guys. I learned to read again. At one point in time, I couldn't even read a full sentence.
Wow.
I had to retrain myself.
Mm.
I would read 2 or 3 words, then I would take a break, and I go back and forget where to start off in the sentence at.
Wow.
That's just how bad it was, you know. And I stayed all the times I spent alone, because there was many times I spent alone, healing after a surgery, after reconstruction. I tried to get in the hospital or whatever, hospitalized. I would just try and read anything that I knew that I was weak on or that I lost. I tried to regain. I tried to practice.
Mhm.
I did it more and more because practice makes perfect, and the more you do something, the better you get at it.
Right.
Mhm.
And yes, and I try to train myself for speech, try to talk better, and you know, man, I'm so blessed, bro. I never even took one speech class.
Wow. Wow.
Never took one. You know, it was often that I said I'm gonna try and do my own therapy, and between God and I, we did it. And also talking to more educated people,
Mhm.
changing our circle,
Mhm.
and
That's
that helped me as well. That helped me as well. And you
that's
guys are part of that. Both of you are part of that, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful, and I'm thankful to be here as well, and learning and studying and researching PTSD.
Mhm.
And it's so exciting. I mean, I loved it. I loved it. The more I learn, the better I am. Did that I deal with it?
Mm-hmm.
And even today, I've learned just to listen to you guys. I've learned no ways to detect PTSD when someone has trauma and they're acting out. I can see it now, more.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. This is a good topic, very good topic.
Oh man, this is wonderful. Yeah, let me just give you guys a little context about my brother Eric that we're speaking with now. I met him, I would say back in 89, 90, when I first got out of high school. Me and him, we met in boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois. We were both in the Navy together.
Yes, sir.
And when I first met this brother, he was always out there holding court. Whenever it was a big crowd around, you would know that man right there would be in the midst. And he'd just be holding court, calling out everybody, any and everybody.
Yeah.
He just had that personality. He was going to stand out and, just lecture the room. And I always admired that about this brother. He just had a great presence and aura about him. And then when we go on later on, we met back up in Norfolk, Virginia, where we were stationed at in the Navy there. And I got out in 93. I'm not sure when you get out, E.
93 as well. March of 93.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So after I got out the service in 93, I came back home to Jersey. But I always used to come back and forth to Virginia because my sons was living in Virginia. So back in 94, when I came down, I'm at the gas station and the car rolls up on me. Somebody get out, but I don't recognize him because he's mad skinny and his face disfigured. But it's E. And I'm looking in shock like, what happened? And he can barely talk. I think he wrote it down on the paper. Yeah.
Yep, I wasn't talking then. Yes, sir.
He wrote the number down and he told me he got shot in the face. And then later on, he told me about exactly what happened.
Exactly.
In the parking lot.
Yeah.
And he was just laid out. What you do? You played dead, E?
Nah, man. Actually, yeah, I did. Actually, I did. It was, man, when the shots were fired, it sounded it deafened me. I couldn't hear anything. But I would see when I was on the ground, I could see footsteps, people's shoes or whatever, standing over me, man. And I'm face down, but I know they're standing over me. And I know they probably got guns drawn.
Yeah.
So I didn't move, man. I didn't utter anything, man. And to this day, I don't know what stopped them from going in my pockets, getting the keys to the car or whatever. I don't know if someone was coming up to run them off. But I just say, that was God's doing. But yeah, I laid still. I still had life in me, but I laid and played dead, man. Because it was just, I knew it was too much for me after I got hit. I never felt anything like that before in my life. It's nothing I can compare to that, No. And I knew it was too much for me at that time, at that point. And after a while, and I didn't see any no footsteps, anything like that, I was able to get up on my feet, man, get in my car, and I actually drove myself to safety, bro. Wow. I mean, to all of you, I saw the nearest cop. Now I can remember like it was yesterday, and I pulled up on him. And when I pulled up on him, he did like this.
Wow.
He looked at me, he did like this.
Oh my God.
And I said, hold up. I was trying to say, hold up. I don't know if he heard me, but I was like, hold up. Please don't turn me down. I was like, I need you more now than ever. And he told me just sit there and relax. He said, because you're bleeding ferociously. Just sit and try to relax. I'm going to get you help. And that's the last thing I heard from him.
Okay.
And the next thing I woke up, man, I was in a coma for like 20 plus days. Woke up in a strange place. That was traumatizing.
Yep.
And it took a long time after I would see, sometimes when I would see bright lights, even on the freeway, that bright light,
Yeah.
it would trigger that emotion back to when I was laying on that cold table.
Okay.
And I actually came out of the coma. All
Mm.
I saw was a bright light right in front of me. Like a surgery light or whatever, surgical light. Man, that's all I saw sitting in my face.
Yeah.
Blinding me. I couldn't see anybody else in the room.
Mm.
But I could hear them mom and them voice, and I recognized some of the voices.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't see anything, man, but that light. And for a long time, that was frightening. I would almost turn off the road or whatever. And then I got to the point where when I saw a bright light from the head coming on, and then a car meeting me, I would like turn my eyes to the left or the right. I
Okay.
couldn't face the light, for a long time. It was like a nightmare that kept going, an ongoing nightmare, and that's one of the most traumatizing triggers that I dealt with for a long time. Then, of course, when I started hanging around people that had guns, whenever I saw a gun, man, it was crazy.
Mm.
It was crazy. Or I hear shots or something.
Yeah.
It was just crazy, man. It was, oh my goodness. Heart started beating faster. Foot started tatting, and fingers moving. It destroyed my nervous system and everything.
Mm.
Sometimes made me feel like wanting to regurgitate. It was just, man. And all that time, I had no idea there was a name for it. I had no idea that I should have been getting treated for it all those years, That
So
I
the
was able
doctors
to
never recommended that?
say again.
The doctors never recommended therapy or treatment?
Man, here's the thing. I was so strong-headed and strong-willed. I didn't allow the doctors to get that far. As
That's
soon as they say,
you.
As soon as they say, "Do you think you need help? Do you need anyone to help you, to help write or help
Nope.
transact your business?" No, no, I don't need any of that. I don't need nobody.
That's E right there, yep.
Cause I didn't know. Cause I had no idea I needed someone. I had no idea that I could actually trust someone again.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
that I needed a pay. I needed a representative. I need someone to deal with my monies, to deal with my bills, to deal with someone to talk to me. I needed someone to help me make decisions back then.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
Big, Eric.
But
I think a lot of people when you going through trauma,
yes,
that you said something that was very important. You need help with basic
yes,
things that
yes,
you normally take for granted. Like who's gonna pay my bills? Who's gonna go grocery
yeah,
shopping for me? Sometimes
exactly.
people. I know I've had days where I couldn't even get out of bed. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying?
okay, right,
So
right.
yes, trauma
Yeah.
is something, and you
It,
never know. My
yeah,
grandparents have been deceased for over 20 years, and I can hear a song, or I can hear someone like an older person say something. It's,
yes.
it's really a trigger for me, and it takes me a place, and I just break down,
Mhm.
and
Oh
you would
God,
think after but 23, 24 years,
no.
I would be okay. But
Mm-mm.
no, things happen. It could be anything, a song, a word, like Eric said, a flashing light. It
Right.
could be anything. But until we get those tools and we seek therapy and we have those resources available to us to help us maneuver and cope with those things, because these things happen. That's why I said in the beginning, I don't think you ever get rid of it. You learn how to live, and I love to say you learn to live and then you live to learn. So
Yeah,
you have to get therapy. Um, it's hard again for men, especially black men, but it
yes.
it is something that is needed to help you navigate everything. Yeah.
And funny you said that about especially black men, because that's so true. We're taught to be tough. We're taught to ignore our pain. We're taught that we should we shouldn't feel anything. We should never telling anyone that we're feeling hurt or
Oh,
telling
yeah.
anyone our true feelings. We're taught to hide all that, conceal all that. And that was the worst thing I think ever for us as a race.
Yeah. Even as little boys, when little boys
Yeah.
cry, oh, suck it up. Don't you
Yeah.
cry.
Boys don't cry.
Look,
Come on,
yeah.
man.
Boys don't cry. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're taught
Yeah.
not to have emotions. And then
Exactly.
you bring that into a relationship, and your partner is now having to deal with the little boy in you,
Yeah.
or your girlfriend, your significant other, or you're dealing with the little girl in her,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know, that
Exactly.
has never been healed.
Exactly. Oh man, you're so right. So true. And then also I dealt with as well after I started to open up and deal with expressing myself about my feelings, what I was going through. I've had some females along the way that tell me I was soft,
Mm.
tell me I do more uh, complaining than she do. She don't have the chance to complain because all I do is whine and she used the D word and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt some kind of way
Yeah.
at the beginning, and then I said, know what, man? I'm not gonna let anyone that hasn't experienced what I experienced
Right, right,
Tell me how to feel.
tell them how to feel or
right.
have anything to say to have a word to describe what I'm feeling or what I am. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's not time for me to separate because that's the utmost disrespect that you can ever do to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell
And
me,
that
tell
person
me
wasn't for you.
No.
exactly. There you
That
go. I was
person
getting to
wasn't
that.
for you.
I
Right.
was getting to that. Yep.
Even
And guess
that
what?
goes back to having the tools to identify,
Yes.
people
Yes.
that are for you,
Hmm.
because I've learned, people love the thought of you, or the thought of being with you,
That's
um,
right.
versus really loving you. Because
Wow.
they see, yeah, this is the person I want to be with. But if you don't know how to handle that person and you don't know how to take care of that person, that's a whole nother topic. That's a
Oh
whole
no.
nother
Yes.
relationship thing.
Yes. Right.
Um, but like you said, boys are taught not to cry, but
Yes.
girls, we're taught that not to be with anybody who can't protect you and who can't make you feel
Yeah.
safe. And,
That's
you
right.
know, but nobody ever speaks to how people are raised, because if he's never seen that,
Mhm.
or if she's never seen what a real relationship looks like, or a real marriage look like, or how I'm supposed to be treated, you don't know. If a man's never been taught how to be a man and how to properly take care of a woman, and not even that, to properly take care of themselves so that they
Exactly.
can take care of a woman, it makes it hard, and all of that can be traumatic. It's not one simple definition for PTSD. There's not one symptom you can look for. It's a multitude of things. It's a
Yes.
multitude of things.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, in speaking on that now, when we go into relationships and we start to notice certain things happening and people start to become more passive and they don't want to really touch on certain topics or interact with certain things, it's a little red flag going up. How do you approach in having those conversations so they can get to a place where they're comfortable in speaking about what they may be feeling or what's going on?
You In those times you have to be really careful.
Okay.
It's kind of hard, um because if you're and I can speak on something that happened to me recently. You go out on a date with somebody. Just
Mhm.
say, for instance, you're out on a date and you get a vibe. You get that intuition, you get that your discernment kicks in, that something is just not right.
Yes.
And sometimes we overlook that because we want to be with that person, and we give people the benefit of the doubt, and maybe
Yeah.
they're having a bad day. But as that relationship or those interactions continue, you have to watch for those red flags. You have
Yes.
to follow your gut. You have to follow that vibe, but you also have to address it in a manner of safety,
Mhm.
because you don't know that
Yeah.
person yet. You don't know what that person's triggers are. And to be honest with you, let's be real. People give you their representative in the beginning.
Sure.
That's right.
they give you their representative because they want you, they like you, they want you to like them, and they're not being truthful and they're not being upfront. You know, with something that just happened to me recently, it turned into me filing for a restraining order.
Right.
You know, against someone, that person being arrested for stalking and harassment. So
Wow.
you think you know people, but you really don't, because you don't know what baggage people are carrying. So in those instances, you really have to be careful. You
Yes.
really have to be careful how you approach, how you respond, and how you interact with people. You know, you can say, "Oh, I'm a step back," but you have to be careful in stepping back. You know, as a victim's advocate, you know, it's easy before I became a victim's advocate to say, "Oh, he's beating on her. Why she don't leave?" It's just not that simple.
No, it's not.
It's not just, "Oh, well, if it was me." No, you don't know what you would do because it's not you. So
Yes.
you have to be careful and put yourself in a safety zone where you can leave a relationship safely, where you can learn key words and learn what words not to say. No one should ever have to be in a relationship and feel like they walking on eggshells, but sometimes you have to until you get to a place of safety,
Yes.
and you can fall back. But the signs are there, the jealousy. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, he want me to call him when I get there and call him when I'm leaving. And call, yeah, that's real cute. But when it becomes what time you got there,
Right.
who's there,
Yeah.
who's all there? Can you put me on FaceTime and let me see? Like those are things we need to watch for.
Mhm.
Um, who's in the room? Who's going to be there? You know, it's just, and you have to be careful because again, and I just keep saying it, it's a spirit.
Mhm.
It's a spirit. Um, so to navigate and to recognize those things, and sometimes we can be so in love or infatuated with somebody, we see it, but we don't see it.
Yeah.
You
Don't want
know,
to see it.
right?
Yeah.
We don't want to see it, or when we recognize it, it's sometimes too late.
Too
Mhm.
late. I
It's
agree.
too late, you know. But again, you have to be able to navigate those words and those conversations. Um, and people think, well, you know, I'm going through this battle. I don't want treatment. I don't want to take medication. I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. Yeah, but a lot of times it's a chemical imbalance. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
trauma and medication may just help that. Um, but people just don't, they give you their representative. You know, people
They
give you
do.
their representative
It,
and they give you what they want
hmm
to see, but then your discernment and that gut feeling, you know, people say, "Oh, I got butterflies." No, no, no. That's God telling you something ain't right here. It's something you need to pay attention to.
Watch out.
Oh, all them butterflies was cute in high school, but you know, this is real life. We have
Yeah.
to really pay attention. Look at people, family. Look at
Mhm.
who they interact with, who their circle is. You know, um,
Okay.
you really have to be careful. I don't know. I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Yes. Very
Okay.
good. Thank you so
Yeah.
All right, so I got one last question before we close out our session for today. But wow, this has been a very powerful conversation. I'm so glad we have both of you on this afternoon to discuss this. But last question I want to ask for you, Kay, is can a relationship be a safe place for healing for someone dealing with some trauma in their life? Or do they need to get that healing first before they look to get involved in another relationship?
In my opinion, the healing, the help, um, because trauma and emotions are transferable.
Yes.
Okay, it's
Hmm.
transferable because again, remember I said it's a spirit. It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
transferable.
Yes.
Um, and you go into a relationship with trauma, with hurt, you pass that on to someone else. You pass it on to someone else, and it may not even be intentional. You understand? Um, some people can navigate life half healed,
hmm
Some people need healing. I think it just depends on the person, their
Individual.
background, their circle, their village, their support, their mindset, their ability to research, their ability to be educated
All
on
of that.
mental health, on trauma, on stress, because stress is a trigger. Because I can be happy today and I'm stressful at work, and then I don't even, feel like dealing with anybody. But I think it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the person in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does not heal the same. Everybody does not grieve the same. Everyone does not heal and or grieve in the same manner.
Yes.
So it really depends on the person. Does therapy help? And do I say yes, seek therapy and seek help? Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Because not only will you learn of your triggers, you learn a lot about yourself.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
You learn a lot about yourself. And it can uncover and unmask some things that you have buried deep down that you don't even realize still exist. So yes, counseling, spiritual counseling,
Mm-hmm.
professional counseling, your village, your circle,
Yes.
and learn not to talk so much.
Okay.
Listen more. Yes.
Be careful who you talk to.
True.
Be careful who you let talk in your ear,
Yes.
because
Yes,
things linger and things fester.
they do.
Yes, healing is a process. It is an everyday thing.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen. So Shawnette says she disagrees. What do you disagree with, Shawnette? And she also says we need to do a part 2 of this. So Shawnette, when we do a part 2, you want to come on? Let me know. We'll make it happen. But yeah, let us know what you disagree with what Kay just stated.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's say that.
That was good, sis. Very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just loving this conversation, and I'm wow. E, I didn't know that you went through all of that, and
Yes, sir. Yes.
my apologies, brother, for not you know intervening more and getting more in depth as to what you were going through, because
Mhm.
I could have been there for you more. I should have been for you more. And I feel some type of way about that now in retrospect, looking back at it. Like you didn't have anyone to communicate and really express yourself to. And I feel bad about that. So,
Please don't. Please don't. And here's why. Back to what I said earlier. I was putting on this strong era. I put that on. When you saw me get out of the car, couldn't even talk, but I got out and faced you.
yes,
That was showing you strength.
yes,
And then you already had the energy where you met me, how
yes.
strong I was then.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you couldn't even fathom, your vision wasn't allowing yourself to see me as a weak guy.
No.
As going through something, you felt like he got it. This man got shot in the face. He stood here. He talking. He walking. He trying to crack a joke. Whatever. He's being himself. So you
Yeah.
didn't see. Yeah, I had a way of concealing all that.
Okay.
Yeah, not my charisma, my character. It just shown a much stronger picture, even when I was hurt and wounded.
Mhm.
If you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I wouldn't allow myself to open up or share how I was really feeling,
Okay.
what I was going through.
Hmm.
I was in denial. I was like, I'm all right. I just got hit. I got hit. I'm gonna lick my wounds. When it first happened, I thought in 30 days I was gonna be back to myself. Because Doc told me, say, I can guarantee you, if you don't give up, you have you back to 99% of yourself.
Yeah,
And he was actually telling me that to keep my faith up and to keep me going.
absolutely.
But I took that as face value. Man, I got this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Then he was telling me about how strong I was, and I wasn't survived. I wasn't as strong as I was, and the muscles and all that, my muscle tissue. He was saying how strong I was and how much I stayed in shape, and that was what actually saved my life.
Right.
Mm.
And so with me hearing all of that, I'm like, man, I got this. Because I always thought positive. I always thought dominant.
Always.
I'm like, ain't nothing gonna take me down. I got this.
There you go. Yep.
And with me, yeah, and with me portraying that, there was no way. It's not your fault. It was no way you would have known that I needed someone to talk to. And actually, I wouldn't have even I didn't even know how to engage in this conversation back then. At that point in time, we couldn't have got this solved out there. You know, we
Right.
could not have. So you did your part, bruh. By just showing love and bringing up old times that we had. That was what brought me joy. And
Yeah.
actually, when I started talking to counselors and all, that's exactly what they suggested.
Okay.
Can you remember any times that you was most happy? They said when you're depressed, when you're thinking about, you're just thinking in and you can't go outside now because the stitches hasn't healed or whatever. They said think about a time when you had the most fun in your life and you didn't care about anything. And they said just sit there and think like that, and you'll find joy in that.
Okay.
And so I started doing that, but then it stopped working. So here's what the counselor told me: when you think about it, think about what you did before you went into that time and after. So go through the steps.
Okay.
And that would cause me to engage in that moment, like relive that moment.
Mm.
And it actually started working, man. It actually started working. I remember when I first bench pressed 300 pounds at 18, at 17 or 18, 11th grade high school.
Yep.
Man, that was the biggest accomplishment I ever did, the biggest accomplishment I ever did. I
Uh-huh.
gained so much respect around school, on the football team,
Yeah. Yeah.
older guys, coaches, all of that, you know. And that was one of the most happiest moments. And for a long time, I wrote off that. That was what got me over. That
Mm.
was what allowed me to go to sleep at night
Mm.
without stressing and without, you know what I'm saying, keeping myself up, beating myself up about it. You know, that brought joy.
Yes, sir.
That helped me relax.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just that one moment, you know. And
Okay.
then as I gained strength and learned more knowledge and talked to more people and got more comfortable with myself, I started finding other things that I was proud of myself for accomplishing, and a lot of other happy moments I had as well.
Yeah.
And it's much needed, man. Even with the PTSD from relationships, there was something in that relationship that we liked, or that we enjoyed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I learned that when something triggers those bad moments, I go back and try and erase that thought with something that we did that was good, that was great.
Right.
Even if it's a picture, I go to a picture we took together
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
look at, and then I could remember the times we had then, how we decided what colors we were gonna wear, who invited us to that actual event where we took the picture at, what car we drove, who drove there.
Yes.
I'm saying then I try and remember what drink we had when we went to the bar, or whatever. And
Mm.
it actually it takes me out of that bad moment, that traumatic moment. It actually erases that with joy. Yeah. So it's a way, and that's not saying that you get over that moment or that you won't be triggered by that again. You probably will, but at least you'll learn how to manage that.
Yes.
You
Right.
know, because PTSD never. I don't think some of it never goes away. Of
Mm.
course, some you may forget. Some things you may forget over a period of time. You
Okay.
know, traumatic experiences, but some never goes away. But we have to learn how to manage it.
That's right.
Yeah. So
No,
that's all I want to add to it. And I thank y'all so very much.
thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
So, Kay, any final words?
No. Final words. Be encouraged.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
seek help.
Yeah.
Just rely on your faith, whatever that faith is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're surrounded by people that genuinely like you.
Yes.
There's a difference between liking and loving somebody.
Yes,
Make
that's
sure
true.
you surround yourself with people that like you and that can speak life into you. I think
Yeah,
that's very important.
there it is.
I just encourage
Absolutely.
and empower you. I mean, we've all been through some things. I've been through some things I'm not willing to talk about
Okay.
at this time, but we've all been through some things. We've all experienced things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
kind, be kind to one another. That's
Amen.
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
kind.
Yes.
So,
Amen. Amen. No doubt. No
yes.
doubt.
So, yes,
Mm.
family, we are about to close out this session for today. But
Yes.
wow, what an impactful and very encouraging discussion we have had here
Yeah.
with Tina and Brother Eric. Yeah, I just want to thank both of you for coming on board and sharing your experiences, opening up to us all, and letting us take a deeper look within ourselves, because we all have had to deal with some type of trauma and disorders in our lives.
Mhm.
And then when we can hear other people express the things that they have gone through throughout their lives and how they came out of it by opening up and seeking help. The most important thing I got out of this conversation: don't be afraid to seek help.
Yep.
Things are always going to be bigger than you are. You're not
Yes.
able to manage it by yourself. So don't try to do it. Seek God, seek counseling from others, from professionals that can help you in managing and dealing with your situation. So never be ashamed to look for help, because
Look
at some
for
point in time,
resources.
we
Look,
should
look for those resources. Yeah.
It's a lot more resources now. Just got to take advantage of them. Yeah. Hey, and another thing I want to ask,
yes,
Kenita, is it wise to sometimes if you're seeking or if you're having sessions with one counselor and you get to a point where it's not benefiting you, it's not helping anymore, is it wise to change or should you stay with the?
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely. You
because that helped
always
me out a lot.
you
I changed a few
always
times.
have a choice. If
Yes.
that's just like you go to a church and you're not being fed the
mhm,
word of God and
Okay.
you're not learning and you're not growing.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think it's absolutely necessary to seek other help,
Okay.
because the goal of going to counseling and therapy is to heal and it's
To
help.
heal.
And
To
if
get
it's
help.
not helping you, then it's doing a disservice. And
Okay.
it just may not be the right fit for you.
that's all.
Yeah.
It may not just be the right fit. So I encourage people. When I was looking for my therapist, I Googled, I went to NAMI,
Yes.
NAMI. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I looked at reviews, you know, see
Mm-hmm.
what people have to say, see where their credentials lie. Because sometimes the therapists, different therapists, they specialize in different things. And like
Yes.
Tanya just said, we outgrow to another level. They
That's
may
right.
have gotten you just as far as they could get you,
They can exactly.
and you may
Mm-hmm.
need somebody else. So
Yeah.
yes, always never feel trapped in your healing. You should never feel trapped in your healing.
And
Ever.
see, in the beginning, I was misled because the person that I spoke with that had actually tried counseling and it worked, they said they stuck with that one counselor and they know everything about them. And they said every time they get into a bad spot in their life, they go back to that same counselor. And they said that's what helped them. But
And
that goes to show that
everybody is different.
every experience is not the same. Exactly. That's what I was
Right.
about to say.
Everybody
Yep.
is different. That may
Exactly.
just be that person for them. But
Yep.
if you feel
But
like
it did.
you've outgrown that
Yes.
therapist, or you see that it's not helping you, yes, I
Yes.
do encourage you to research and find you another therapist.
That's
And
right.
don't get stuck on, this is one thing about us.
mhm.
Don't get stuck on, I have to have a black therapist. I have to have a male therapist. I
No.
have to have a female, or I
No.
have to have an other. You have to seek somebody who is going to help you, and that person may not look like you.
That's
Yep.
it. Plain and
Yep.
simple. Yeah.
And it hasn't looked like me. The ones that helped me with my experiences, it hasn't looked like me at all.
Yeah.
Hasn't looked like me at all.
You
Yeah.
go.
So I'm
And
praying
they
for
help.
you. I'm
Yes.
praying for
Thank
you.
you.
And I
And
guess
so,
if I could say one more thing, my request would be for those people that's on this call that have a relationship with God. Let's lift our brother up in prayer, because it is a daily battle. Let's
thank
lift
you.
him up. Let's cover him.
Yep.
Let's ask God to cover his mind, because
Yeah.
people don't understand that mind is something serious.
Yes,
It's
it is.
cover his mind and keep him
Thank
in
you.
his mind. Yeah.
Mercy.
So much.
Mercy.
This is good. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys and you all in my prayers as well.
Amen.
You all in my prayers.
All right. So, with that being said, we are going to close it out for this evening. God bless you all, family, and thank you so much for staying tuned here on What's Holding You Back. This has been a very, very powerful discussion. Please like and share this with some information that may help us share with our loved ones. So, on behalf of Eric Greene and Katina Pitts, my name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network. I thank you all so much for joining us and look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of What's Holding You Back. Ian, please stay on board with us. We're going to discuss in the background.
Back,
Yes, sir.
holding you
Okay, bro.
back
Have a good one.
from touching the sky. What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. But what's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky. Oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky. I was born to succeed, not to be a spoke in the wheel. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train out, headed for the horizon where success is no doubt.